whereas senior White House officials kickstart their visit to Mexico and Guatemala. Mexican President Manuel Lopez Obrador has urged Washington to help spur development in Central America to tackle the root cause of illegal immigration.
De la adquisición, la gente no se va a Estados Unidos por gusto, se va por necesidad. Entonces, se tiene que apoyar al desarrollo de Centroamérica y del sur de México. Preguntan por qué es lo que está, ¿no? Se crearon expectativas acerca de que con el gobierno del presidente Biden iba a haber un mejor trato a los migrantes, y esto pues
That was Manuel Lopez Obrador there. Meanwhile, Joe Biden, remember, is facing increasing pressure from within his own country, as the Republican Party has accused Joe Biden of creating chaos at the border because of his extremely naive stance. The former President Donald Trump has said, and I quote him here, "It's insane and it's nothing compared to what's going to be over the coming months," fanning the flames on a topic that's long been a trigger for his political base. Now remember, the US is struggling to house and process an increasing number of unaccompanied children. Many of these children are presently stuck in jail-like border stations for several days while they await placement in overwhelmed government-run shelters. Amidst the talks, this newly released video from Biden administration has shown young migrants eating and sleeping in extremely crowded Texas detention centers. Meanwhile, the United States has also underlined that the United States will work together with Mexico and other Central American governments to try and mitigate the causes of migration. The visit to these regions is also to emphasize their populations that now is not the time to go north to try and get refuge in the United States. The talks with Mexican officials are aimed at developing an effective and a humane plan of action to manage migration. Now, the National Security Council's senior director for the Western Hemisphere is also visiting the region with the aim of addressing the root causes of migration in the region and also to build a more hopeful future in the region. Now, the increase in the number of migrants who are fleeing violence, natural disasters and also economic hardship in Central America is testing President Joe Biden's commitment to a more humane immigration policy. Now, Mexico has also increased law enforcement at its southern border to try stem the rise in the number of migrants who are trying to enter into the country and then march all the way to the United States. All right, now, Jagrati, if I can bring you in on this. The issue of immigration is always a very contentious issue in the United States of America. Now, Joe Biden said that his policy will be very different from that of his predecessor, Donald Trump. But now there appears to be some sort of a reality check that Joe Biden's administration is confronted with.
Yeah, I think it's a problem that Joe Biden is facing because he's coming under pressure from Republicans who are saying that he has created this problem by reversing the disincentives that were set up under the Donald Trump administration. Democrats are saying that, well, actually all of this is Donald Trump's fault for not creating an efficient immigration system and for creating these awful conditions that we're seeing unaccompanied minors in these facilities. So this is what the dilemma that Joe Biden has, is that in trying to create a more humane immigration policy, he also doesn't want to create conditions where he is seen to be encouraging people to cross the border. And this is something that the president of Mexico addressed. He said, President Manuel Lopez Obrador said that expectations were created with President Biden's government. There would be better treatment of migrants, and this was during his daily press conference that you played out there. And he said this has caused Central American migrants and also from Mexico to want to cross the border, thinking it is easier to do so. Now, many Democrats are saying that, well, you know, the number of people who are coming across, it's the language of a surge and a crisis is part of the problem. It's dehumanizing people who are fleeing for their safety. Now, US Border Patrol has made about 97,000 arrests of illegal crossings in February, which is the most since 2019. So there clearly is a problem at the border that the Biden administration is not wanting to call a crisis. And, you know, I think sending officials to Mexico and Guatemala to try to address the root problems, they're going to be looking at things like corruption, things like trafficking, things like gang violence. What are the conditions that are causing people to flee their homes, and leave their families behind? But the problem of unaccompanied minors is a huge one. It continues to be a huge problem. What to do with the number of unaccompanied minors, given that they're not being expelled back into Mexico? They need to be given safe shelter and appropriate shelter for their ages. So, you know, lots of challenges facing the Biden administration on this issue.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Jagriti Dave, for joining us and getting us all those updates there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.